writers and news daters, happy to be coming to you again today on this rainy day here in Boulder, Colorado. I hope things are going all right for you today and you're not caught in a rainstorm. Today I want to talk to you about writer's block. So a lot of the posts that have happened recently in the group have been about being stuck or having writer's block or that kind of thing. And so there are a lot of questions about it, and I want to get to those questions. If you're just logging into view, hello, nice to see you, welcome. Please let me know where you're listening from, and also feel free to post your questions in the comments, whether you're watching this live or you're watching on the replay. So let's get into talking about writer's block. How do you know if you have writer's block? Well, writers with writer's block sit in front of the keyboard or in front of the blank page, and they're not sure what to write or what to write next. A lot of them will procrastinate on the projects that they're working on, and many of them workcrastinate, as my friend and colleague and client and best-selling author Robert Bradford says, workcrastinate. So what does that mean? It means that you go and you clean the kitchen, or you might do some writerly things that feel like you're getting work done, like answering fan emails or filing or that kind of thing that kind of fit under the guise of writer but aren't actually writing. So what else does writer's block look like? It might look like this. You've spent years and years and years getting a manuscript out the door because you dabble in writing rather than actually doing the writing work. And so I've worked with many clients who have come to me with this problem. One who comes to mind when I think about writer's block is Jerry. And she had been going through years of creative blockage. And I don't just mean a couple of years. I mean something like 20, 25 years. She had been procrastinating, not writing, and not trying to write. And this was upsetting for her. She had set out in life to be a writer and ended up getting kind of caught up in her corporate job. And writing was always the thing that got pushed to the side for her. And so the loss for her there was that she wasn't getting her message out into the world. She had a lot of stories to tell. She had had rich experiences in her life, and none of that was coming out of her, coming into story or coming into memoir. So she and I started working together, and we've been working together for about a month. And she burst into tears one day in one of our sessions. Why? Because she finally felt that story that she'd held back for so many years was finally, from the work that we had done, flowing out of her. And she had tried in the past, she had tried to sit down in front of a notebook or take herself away for a weekend and kind of get her message out there. And she hadn't been able to do it. And through her work with me, she realized all the time that she had wasted not writing. All that time, all of those years when she could have been accessing that creative self, when she could have been in that creative zone, and she had cleaned the kitchen, or she had made sandwiches, or taken care of what seemed really urgent in that moment, but wasn't actually important. And so she had lost so much time. And so she was in tears. She was upset about all of this lost time in her life where she had been in a creative block. And she could have been inspired. And that was lost time that she was never going to get back, that she had allowed herself to be in a creative block, and she could have been producing, creating, and living in that flow, in that zone of creativity. So when I worked with Jerry, I worked with her on neuroscientific principles that I use to work with my writers to help them get out of writer's block. So your brain is designed in a specific way. It functions in certain ways, in the same way that our knees only bend in one direction and not the other. So our brain has certain ways for optimal functioning. And if you don't know what those ways are, how to, from a neuroscientific point of view, access your creativity, then you're missing out on a really important function of how your brain works and how you can get into that zone every single time before you sit down to write. And that's what I work with writers on, is to help them get into that creative zone and stay there. Writers who have worked with me just once in one session have gone on to write all weekend, have gone on to write long pieces beyond the time that we were together. So this is really powerful stuff because you're tapping into the way that your brain works, right? If you think about your arm and you're trying to lift a weight, I mean, it's going to be much easier, depending on how much it weighs, right? If we bend our arm this way, right? If we did something silly like this would be much more difficult. And if we tried to bend it the other way, well, that would simply be impossible. You wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be a workout. And yet, as writers, we try in so many ways to make our brains do things that they were never meant to do. So if you're interested in finding out how to optimize your brain power to bring you into the very best creativity, we're having a writing salon online tomorrow. You can join us from anywhere in the world via computer. All you need is a device that has a camera and a microphone. It can be a smartphone, iPads work, computers work best, but any smart device can get you in. Today is the last day to enroll. As I said, the session is tomorrow. So if you're interested in getting into the creative zone in a way that optimizes the way that your brain is made to work, gets you into the creative zone and keeps you there, if you're finally ready to kick writer's block to the curb and say, forget you, I want to be a writer. And not only do I want to be a writer, I want to be an author. I want to publish. If you're ready for that, please sign up to join us for tomorrow's salon. Today's the last day to sign up. I look forward to seeing you there. I'll post the link in the comments. I look forward to your comments and your questions about writer's block.